Okay, time to talk about the Zhanshi series from RavenCrest Tactical. Let's check it out. Okay, so this time talking about the Zhanshi and the mini Zhanshi. I was originally going to do these in two videos, and then I realized they're practically the same knife, so that would be silly. So instead, we'll just talk about both. So same sort of setup, nice little magnet box, neoprene case, and I've got the knives back here instead. Starting with the full-size Zhanshi, Zhanshi being Warrior is the translation of that. Detail-wise between the two, they're both going to be made handle-wise of an aircraft-grade aluminum, CNC'd, and they're both going to have kind of this really cool tire tread texture to them. So besides having jimping on the sides here, it's also going to have this texture here. So it's got a really strong grip. I see this to be a good operating knife. You know, when you need this to be reliable in the hand, even though it's slick and wet and mud and blood and whatever you've got going, this is where you're at. Blade-wise, this thing comes in a variety of different options. You're gonna have tontos and drop points and all of that, and then additionally, a worn clip, which I'm a huge fan of. I think that's really awesome, and I'm kind of stoked to see that. Dimension-wise, this one's gonna come in at 9.5 inches long total length with a 4-inch blade, and the blade is gonna be 1 inch wide. This one here is gonna be about 8.1 inches in total length with a 3.5-inch blade. That's about 3/4 inch in width. Each is gonna have its own different use case, right? The mini, I find to be a more pocketable, more portable, more everyday carry. But if you're operating, if you're military, law enforcement, or somebody who needs a good, solid, reliable knife on their body all the time and don't have a problem carrying something long and large, there are gonna be things you can do with a large knife that you can't do with a small one, or at least not as easily. If this thing's saving your life, size sometimes does matter. Sorry, guys. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of this worn clip blade. I really like that style. I am seeing a little bit of blade rub coming in and out on this Cerakote. Who cares? Use your knife. It's going to be awesome. There are different colors available. This one's obviously in the USMC red. Really rad color. Not my favorite personally, but it's growing on me, and I kind of wonder what it looks like when it kind of wears a little bit. But it's a dark, and these are obviously just Cerakoted. So they're aluminum, and then they've got Cerakote, which is a great coating for a knife, for knife handles and even knife blade as well. That Cerakote is going to hold up really well. It's going to protect from the elements, and that's something you need. So both of them have this double buffeted clip here. Let's see if we get that. The shape of that kind of has this double ridged option, which kind of keeps it tight to the body when it's in your pocket. And then they both have a glass breaker on the end. All of the blades in this line are going to be in a 440C stainless steel, coming in hardness wise at about a 58 on the Rockwell scale. It's a good solid user. You know, it's not a super crazy premium steel, an S35VN or an M390 or something like that, but that's also why you're not paying twice as much for these knives. It's going to be good and reliable. The thing is, we can go all crazy about different steels and all of that, and the truth is we can kind of overthink when it comes to steels. Long before you start digging into steels and understanding what's going on with them, we just bought a knife because its form factor matched what we were looking for. The blade profile matched what I needed to be able to accomplish, and it needed to be functional and work and be the size that I want and be able to fit in the pocket or wherever I'm going to carry it. And that's that. Buy a knife, use it. These guys offer a lifetime, no questions asked warranty. That's a big deal. Obviously, if they didn't think it was going to hold up and they thought it wasn't going to be great for you, they wouldn't offer that situation. Now, something I've noticed in a couple of the ones that I've opened from these guys is I've got loose screws in here. Not a big deal. Easy to tighten that back up. I have Loctite in my kit, so I can just throw that in there and keep it in there, though I wouldn't use a strong Loctite if you are going to do something like that. You need one that's going to be able to come out easy if you do need to do maintenance. But get them tightened down. The downside is obviously if I didn't notice that right away, I could have lost some screws and then not be realizing that the screws are missing. Definitely going to be tightening that up right away. It's just something to know, something I've noticed. The full size, I'm not noticing that on there. This one, and it's just these back two that are doing that. Could have just slipped through QC. Not really a big deal for me. I'm just going to tighten that back up. If I did lose the screws, the warranty is going to cover that and take care of it. So just something to know about, something that I noticed. Both of these have a reversible pocket clip, one that can go either side. They're always going to be, OTFs are going to stay that tip down. You don't need to be able to fire this blade up towards you, right? Not that would be easy to do with the mechanism. It's grippy. It's going to work bare hand or with gloves and all that, but it's not going to accidentally fire very easily in your pocket. But either way, because of the way you draw and it's already under your thumb and easy to get to, you're going to be rocking a tip down. The fact that it's reversible and can go left or right is awesome. I'm really big fan of that. If you saw my video on the Enigma, the Karambit model, link down below to check that out. It didn't have a clip that reversed to both sides. And if you're working ballistic, if you carry a firearm, a lot of times you'll want something that you can use in your offhand. The nice thing about an OTF is your left hand can be kind of dumb and still push a button to deploy a blade. So OTFs work really great for that. You can get to them in either hand. They are ambidextrous that way. If you're carrying them on a rig or carrying them however you want, being able to get to them and fire them, it's not complicated. Some knives, it's just really difficult to open them because of the particular mechanism. They're designed right-handed or left-handed specifically and don't go both ways. That one, honestly, it looked like if they ran the holes through all the way the other direction, they could actually just reverse that clip. It actually surface mounted. The only problem was the actual holes for the screws didn't go all the way through. I think it'd be really easy to just go ahead and tap those all the way through and just reverse it because the way that's set up. I did have it apart. I did look at it because I did have a couple firing issues with that particular model. So I did look at it, just see what's kind of going on. I did notice on the clip that I feel like that's a solvable thing. And here you don't have to worry about it. It's already ready to go. Just take this off, flip it over, put it back on. You're off and running. Right hand, left hand, doesn't matter. Same as the Titan. Also linked below if you haven't seen the video on the Titan Alpha. The safety feature still applies where I'm getting barely in cardboard, standard corrugated cardboard. I'm getting maybe an 1/8 of an inch penetration when it goes in, but then the blade doesn't deploy. So you got this safety feature and then you just pull that back out and you're good to go. So it's been reliable. It's also been, that mechanic is going to work really great for safety. Safety wise, I actually find these to be very practical. Automatics have a tendency to just, even if they only partially open, there's a lot of danger there. With these, they don't lock. There's not a locking mechanism that's keeping this from firing, but there are not a lot of actuations. When you just can press a button and have the blade kick out, that can happen a lot easier than actually having to push and get over. There's a ramp of intent that you're going to have to get over to get this to fire. So getting it to accidentally fire seems incredibly unlikely. And even still, as soon as it bumps into something, it's not going to deploy all the way. That's a good thing. So I find these to be I didn't used to spend a lot of time looking at OTFs, and I'm finding myself significantly more interested in them now. The overall shape and profile, the sleekness that there is to them. Really quick, this is not a deep carry pocket clip. Kind of looks like it the way it rides. You could possibly swap this out with a deep carry clip. On the Alpha, don't entirely match, but I'm sure you could get a deep carry clip or even modify this one if you needed to have a deep carry if you prefer that. This is going to ride just a little bit out, which it's going to be very low profile and then grab and go. But the overall shape, the overall profile, the overall design of an OTF, in fact, this kicks out directly. It's noticeable. There's not going to be a good way to quietly open this knife. Let's test that. If I go completely surface, there's definitely sound. And then I could try to sneakily, and now I'm ready to go. Depends on your situation. You might want to hope for some other noise if you need to deploy this quietly, but it deploys quickly. So if you need to deploy it right as you're utilizing it, think you know what I mean? Then that noise may be not an issue. All in all, these are really cool. I like the texture of this material. I like the overall form factor. I'm not a big fan of this huge size. This would be something, if I was active duty or something, I would definitely consider carrying one of these. As a person who's not active duty, who trains martial arts and teaches and shares knowledge on that type of stuff more so in a civilian use case, something smaller tends to go a little less noticed. Variety of different blade options for this. You've got the Tonto, the drop point, the spear point, and the Wharncliffe, all available in a plain edge or so a non-serrate or a serrated blade. Some of them have a partial serrate. The spear points have options for double-sided serration and stuff like that. That's another interesting thing that you can have in an out the front that you can't have in and the same thing for the Balisong. Balisong's an out the front because of the way that they close. You can have a blade style that's edged on both sides. If I've got a folder where part of the blade is exposed, then obviously if that's edged, if that's not fully covered, it's an edge that's available. So when it comes out the front, to have a double-edged, like a spear point or something like that, that is edged on both sides is possible. Same for a Balisong. They both have the options to fully enclose it when it's not engaged so that it's safe when it's closed. So that creates some different opportunities. So lots of different options. This particular, the Zhanshi itself, both the mini and the full size, come in a variety of different color options. You should definitely go check out the different ones. I'll link to Raven Tactical's website for these down below. Let me know in the comments if you carry either of these and what you like about it, what drove you to pick this one or this one, what blade style you went with, what color you went with. Kind of just curious, what are people carrying? And if you're thinking about getting one from watching this or looking at other stuff, let me know which one you're thinking about. I'm kind of curious to see what people like and what they're drawn to. And your use case, if you're law enforcement or civilian or whatever, let me know that too. Here they are up on the mic. This is the full size. And now the mini. They sound different. But very cool. Anyway, let me know what you think of these. Let me know if there's something that you want to know about these. And if you went with something different, let me know about that too. In the meantime, that's it. This is KenfuTV, and we're just doing some knife reviews. So, all right, talk to you later.